Hello friends, my name is Somashekara JT. Welcome back to the Automotive Basic session. Today I have a very interesting topic, CAN, Controller Area Network. The agenda is we are going to learn today introduction to the CAN and what is CAN protocol and what is the need for CAN and layer structure of a CAN node. We'll start with introduction to CAN. So CAN is originally developed by Robert Bosch to address the automotive requirements. For example, to reduce the cost and weight of a vehicle wiring network harness. And CAN is released in 1985. In the year 1990, CAN is standardized by ISO 11898 standard. The CAN standard is ISO 11898. Since CAN is robust to protocol, so it is used in other markets as well. For example, marine, military, industrial, medical, agriculture, and building automation. That's all about introduction. Next, what is CAN? CAN is asynchronous serial communication protocol. So, dear friends, here we have to consider the words asynchronous and serial. What does it mean? To understand the definition of the CAN more clearly, one must aware of asynchronous and synchronous data transmission differences. So let me tell you what exactly asynchronous and synchronous transmission. Asynchronous transmission is the sender and receiver both uses the same clock signal. The sender and receiver both uses the same clock signal in synchronous transmission. But in asynchronous transmission, the sender transmits a synchronization signal to the receiver, any receiver, and before it transmits its data. And in asynchronous transmission, data transfer rate will be slower compared to synchronous. In this, data transfer rate will be faster compared to asynchronous. And the next point, this will be asynchronous data transmission mechanism will be less costlier compared to synchronous. This will be costlier, synchronous data transmission will be costlier compared to asynchronous. So both asynchronous and synchronous data transmission mechanisms have their own advantages and disadvantages. So now you might ask how to decide which synchronous data, which one we have to use, whether we have to go for asynchronous or synchronous data transmission method. But here depends on the usage and application, we have to decide asynchronous and synchronous. That's the reason, because of cost effective reasons, they might have chosen asynchronous data transmission method in CAN protocol. I hope everyone now aware of asynchronous and synchronous data transmission methods. Now we can define what is CAN. CAN protocol is defined as a set of rules for transmitting and receiving messages in a network of electronic devices. That means it defines how data is transferred from one device to another device. So what is CAN? I hope everyone understood now. Need for CAN. The development of CAN began when more and more electronic devices were implemented in vehicle. For example, such as engine control unit, active suspension, transmission control, anti-lock brake system. So I have written here as a ABS, and lighting, air conditioner, airbags, power seats, lighting, and power windows. All these electronic devices means more safety and more control to more safety and comfort to driver and passengers. Of course, because of these all electronic devices, this will reduces the fuel consumption. Reduction in fuel consumption and also power efficiency. To improve the behavior of the vehicle even further, it was necessary for the different control system to exchange the information. So this was done by usually discrete interconnection of the different control system. The discrete interconnection means, as you can see in this diagram, network diagram, each control systems are connected to each other. That means point-to-point connection. This was the major problem for automotive engineers. So why? Because this was the major problem for automotive engineers, because the requirements in automotive industry has grown to an extent. The network cable length increases to several miles, and even more connectors were required to exchange their information or to interconnect the different control systems to share their information with each other. And due to this, even the system looks clumsy and complex, and even it's difficult for troubleshooting as well. So to address these all requirements, we need a serial bus system so that all the control units can be connected to one serial bus to exchange their information. Go. So as I said, the solution to these problems was connecting different control system with serial bus connection. So the point-to-point connection was replaced by CAN in such a manner. That means by adding CAN specific hardware to each control unit. So now you can see in the diagram, all the ECUs are connected via serial bus. So that means all the control units are connected to single bus. You can see here, I would like to mention one point. The CAN operates at speed 1 Mbps. Here I am considering high speed CAN and low speed CAN. So the control units which are connected to low speed CAN are lighting, power seats, power locks, airbags, etc. And in high speed CAN, active suspension and engine control unit. There will be still more. In modern high-end cars, we may see around 70 to 80 ECUs in a car. So high speed operates at 500 kbps. This is accomplished with the help of this CAN hardware. So in this way, the CAN has introduced into automotive domain by Robert Bosch in 1985. So from so far we have seen the introduction of a CAN, what is CAN and need of CAN. Now we will be dealing with layered structure of a CAN. So we all know that OSI reference model, Open System Interconnection Reference Model. So according to OSI reference model, we have 7 layers: application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link and physical layer. But if we map our CAN protocol into OSI reference model, the CAN protocol comes into physical and data link layer. So here we will see one by one what exactly physical layer will do in CAN protocol and what is data link layer, what the functionalities is going to provide, what are the responsibilities of physical and data link layer in CAN protocols. Let's see one by one. For example, now we'll take physical layer. So physical layer is responsible for transmitting the raw bits, and in CAN protocol, signal level and bit representation and the type of transmission medium used. So in signal level and in bit representation of a physical layer, the CAN protocol uses dominant and recessive bit and recessive bit. Dominant bit indicates the logical 0, recessive bit indicates the logical 1. So the transmission medium used in CAN protocol for proper data transfer, twisted pair cable. Now we will see signal level and bit representation, how exactly implemented in CAN. As I already explained, the CAN protocol standard is ISO 11898. So according to ISO 11898, we have a family of CAN specification ISO 11898. So in that we have ISO 11898-1. So the ISO 11898-1 standard is for low speed scan and medium speed CAN application, and 11898-2 specification is for high speed CAN application. So if I consider 11898-2 CAN specification, how the physical layer is represents its signal level. Let's consider 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, so as I said, logical 0 means dominant bit. Dominant indicates logical 0, recessive indicates logical 1. So the voltage levels for these logical 0 and logical 1. The dominant is represented by, so the dominant bit represented in CAN transceiver is the voltage level 1.5 to 3.5, and the recessive bit is represented as a 2.5 volt. Let's see how it looks like. So the bus is starting at recessive, that means the voltage is 2.5, here 3.5, here 1.5, here 0.5. This is our 1, 2 volt, 3 volt and 4 volt. This is my 0. So as I said, dominant bit is represented as 3.5 to 1. So what CAN transceiver will do? It will take the voltage difference of both CAN high and CAN low. We will see what is CAN high and CAN low. This is because of twisted pair cable. Voltage difference will be 2 volts. Suppose let's see, in our bus the voltage level is VDP is 2 volt, means the incoming bit is dominant bit. The voltage difference VDP is equal to 0 means the incoming bit is 1. This is how CAN transceivers or different control systems will interpret the exact data on the bus. That's all from today's presentation. We will see next topics in next video.